Hello, BookTube, and welcome back. Well, it's Friday, folks. Whoop, whoop. I hope everyone's going to have a nice weekend. I know I certainly will. The weather in the UK is still nice, not as hot as it was a few days ago. It's that kind of temperature people can cope with without melting. So I'm going to have a nice, glorious weekend, I think. And I think for today's video, I'm going to make a 5-book recommendation video. I think I've done 3 of these in the past. I could be lying. So I've done 5 recommendations on World War One, on the Vietnam War, and nature. I think they're the only ones I've done. So my 4th one is going to be all about my favourite animal in the whole wide world, which are dogs. I absolutely adore dogs. Unconditional love. I love me dogs. If we're talking about wild animals, it'll be the Australian wombat. Cheeky, fat little things they are. I love wombats. But anyway, we're talking about dogs. Stop distracting me. So I think I've give recommendations about dog books in the past, but I read quite a few every year. So hopefully I'll be talking about new books for you. So let's just get straight into it. So number 1, again, these are not in any order. So number 1 is, not as good as a number 5 or the other way around. They're just recommendations. So the first one I'd like to talk about is Cold Kitchen. This is A Year of Culinary Journeys by Carolyn Eden. Now the dog is, what's the dog's name? The dog's Darwin, and he's kind of like the shadow in the story. He's always there in the background. This Caroline it's a memoir, and she goes around the world, to Eastern Europe, and she brings back home to Scotland, different recipes that she cooks, and then she reflects upon her journeys and life. And the shadow of a dog, Darwin, is always there in the back, as a bond of Caroline with the dog Darwin. It's that nice, lovely bond that those two have, and it's a very reflective book, as I said. And when Darwin is not there anymore, it really gets you in the stomach, and kind of really turns the story a little bit as well. But it's really good, solid memoir. This, especially if you're interested in food, from different places, check this book out as well. But the dog Darwin is the show stealer in this book. You can't wait for when she gets back home. Talks about cooking in the kitchen with, Darwin expecting things to drop on the floor. So that is certainly a recommendation for me. Second one, let's scroll down. Well, these are one of those, when you pick up one of these books, your first look, you're like, I might not be able to read this, or throw it across the room just in sheer anger at this subject. So this second one is Lab Dog: What Global Science Owes American Beagles. This is by Brad Bowman. Now, on the face of it, this is a difficult subject, because this is about experimentations on beagles. I have a beagle, so it hit a little bit close to home. It was with this as well, and part of this will make you angry. So how the experiments include eugenics, radiobiology, tests on Alzheimer's. But what Brad's really trying to get out from you is how the beagles, involuntary participations in these experiments has really pushed forward animal rights and animal welfare and the moral protection of these beagles. Because Brad's not saying, hurrah, look at all these experiments. He pretty much agrees with everybody else. A lot of these experiments were absolutely horrific on these dogs, torture and killing of these beagle dogs. But then, he talks about the research outcomes of Alzheimer's and all that. And what he really pushes forward is the animal rights part. The role of the beagles in science and the animal rights and the welfare and the protection. So they're kind of like two main stories of this book. And I'm glad I read it. Like, it's a tough read. Parts of it will annoy you. Other parts are like, go ahead, beagles. So that is Lapdog, What Global Science Owes American Beagles. Great book. Third recommendations. I can never remember subtitles. Hang on. So this is From Baghdad with Love. A Marine, the War, and a Dog Named Lava. Now, this is by Jay Kubelman. I can't remember his rank. I think it's a lieutenant colonel for Americans. So this is his memoir of fighting in Iraq. They got there and they went in there, kicked down the door, and you could hear noises, and they found a puppy. When you're over there, you're not supposed to look after puppies and all that, but he became like the team mascot, and they dewormed him and made him good, and he became part of the team going forward. And what he's really reflecting on, Jay, is how, because he's a bit of a social kind of outcast. He struggled to, especially after his time of service, he really struggled to connect with people, and the dog helped him do that. It also helped some of the team out when we were over there. And one of the big parts of this book as well is getting the dog Lava from Iraq to he was an American, back to the States. Absolutely fantastic memoir. I love wartime memoirs anyway, but wartime memoirs added in with a dog as well. Give me all those Scooby biscuits. So it's another memoir that's well worth the effort in reading. Recommendation number 4. I'm starting to sweat now. Where I record in here, it's a little room, and the window is, you can't see it because it's directly behind this camera, and the sun is shining on me, so I'm starting to lose 50 pounds while I'm talking to you. So anyway, nice little segue. So recommendation 4 is, again, big subtitle, give me a second. What a Dog Knows: Science and the Amazing Ways Dogs Perceive the World, by Kat Warren. Bit of irony there. And the dog in question here, his name is Solo. The dog's name's Solo. And the dog is trained to sniff out bodies, from crime, to find bodies. And this is Kat just literally kind of like a detached manner, to be honest with you. You're studying dog behaviour, dog science, everything that makes the dog be a dog, and it's delivered in a very palatable, easy to understand kind of good way of grasping dog behaviour and dog animal behaviour and dog biology. That's the word I was looking for. It's absolute cracking book. It's about 200 to 300 pages. A lot of people are like, oh, it's a science book. I don't want to read a science book. It's a good science book. It's about a dog. Pick it up. But yeah, it's how how they use the nose, and how it's a much more powerful nose than us to sniff out things. Like Solo sniffs out dead bodies, the hearing, all that good stuff. It's basically how dogs see the world in comparison to us. Fantastic bit of animal behaviour, especially if you're interested in animal behaviour or zoology. Pick up this book, it's really good. And the last one, recommendation 5, chef's kiss. This is Judy, A Dog in a Million. This is by Damian Lewis. What a book this is. It's basically a historical account of a dog, Judy. Judy is the only animal that's ever been a prisoner of war. Absolutely astonishing story of. So it is in World War II. The Japanese captured them. I think it was in Indonesia where they imprisoned them. But it gives you like Judy's background of when they picked it up and then brought it on board, and then how can a dog, look after itself, and how can it add to the team. And Judy was really, really good at noticing when danger was approaching. When they were all prisoner of war, Judy would go out there and hunt or look for food to bring it back to the people who were suffering, the prisoners of war who were suffering. She also dragged people from torpedo boats onto the shore, and she was packed basically with the rest of the military members, and saved a lot of the lives. And you get a lot of personal accounts from the people who were there, so you get a lot of British, American and Australian accounts of Judy, lovingly wrapped up in a bit of it's here basically. It's Judy's biography, and it's a great little account. It's not that big. It's fairly unique, to be honest with you, and it's just a loving story of a dog which everyone absolutely loved. And that's it, folks. That's all the recommendations I'm going to talk about today, and I hope you enjoy your weekend wherever you are in the world, and I will speak to you soon. Bye, BookTube.